3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Welcome to Mission Control, Peralta Design's podcast on all things branding and digital marketing. Since 2008, Peralta Design has launched hundreds of brands with award-winning identities and websites. Join our hosts Ramon and Jorge as they use decades of combined experience to tackle topics with past clients, industry partners, and the rest of the PD crew. At Peralta Design, we launch brands. But for now, let's launch right into this episode of Mission Control.
Hey, welcome everybody to Mission Control, where we respect the grind and reclaim the American dream. I am your host, Ramon Peralta with Peralta Design, and we launch brands. I'm very excited today. We have a special guest. He is a colleague, a strategic partner. He's a fellow Latino. He's a madman. He's in the advertising industry. He's an award-winning advertising executive, an agency man that has dedicated his career to helping big brands better understand and better serve the growing, ever-growing Hispanic market. Please help me welcome the founder and head of business development at Agency 180, Mr. Hector Bauza.
¿Qué pasa?
Hey.
Oh, wow, claps and everything.
See, we have sound effects too, so we're good. So
I'm impressed.
Listen, you deserve that round of applause. Tell the audience, tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us your backstory.
Well, basically, I start my career in Puerto Rico, where I was born, and I start in selling radio, door to door. It was like a very exciting new career for me. I was in college, and I say, like, if I don't get a job right now in the industry, I will never get in because there are like 400, 500 people going to get graduated in a month or two. Mm-hmm. So that's why I start selling radio. And from there was a plan, obviously. From there, I moved to a small advertising agency. And from there, I moved to a medium advertising agency. And when I always been in new business development. Mm-hmm. I'm an account executive service person, but also new business development. It's been always in my blood. Mm-hmm. So from there, I started growing. At 24 years old, I opened my first advertising agency in Puerto Rico. And we built like 3 million at that time, and like 15 or 16 employees. And we keep on progressing. I was looking for the corporate name in my resume, mm-hmm. and I became vice president of account services for Satchi Satchi. Mm-hmm. At that moment was the biggest advertising agency in the world. Mm-hmm. And like you have to keep on going and progressing. So from there, I changed to sales promotions. I was like tired of advertising in some sense. It's very difficult in order to keep on going. So I started working with the producing concert, producing events, producing sales promotion for RJ Reynolds, Budweiser, and so on and so on. And after that, I decided to leave Puerto Rico and move to the States. That's when I moved to Orlando, Florida, mm-hmm. and became a GSM for a radio station. I think that was the era of the born of the Hispanic market, because there were not too many agencies, and it was like starting the process of developing the market. And from there, I moved to Tampa with TV stations and radio station. And from there, I moved to Massachusetts. And that's where the things got interesting. So in Massachusetts, I was working with Univision Boston, mm-hmm. and I was living like in Western Mass. So it was like a hour and a half going to work, and then hour and a half coming back home. I was like, I'm gonna kill myself here. So my wife decided to open at that time a bilingual newspaper, and she hired me as a sales manager. And I started selling the newspaper. And one day I went to this client. It was a car dealership, and he said, "Yes, we're gonna buy the newspaper, but let's talk about you become a consultant for us.
Mhm.
And that's where Bauza and Associates was born. My first client, my first year, we built $65,000, and at the end of the game, we were around 5 to 6 million. And that's what happened. We start, banging doors and making presentations, and we grew like crazy.
Wow. Now, but when you were a kid, what did you dream about doing?
That's so funny. You know what? I want to be a pilot.
It's never too late.
No, it's too late for me.
And so you wanted to be a pilot, but were you inspired by your parents? Were they entrepreneurs, or did they have a small business?
No. Well, I started, I was thinking about being a pilot, but what happened is that no particular reason. I think that because I like planes.
Mm-hmm.
No, but after I graduated from high school, I was inclined to study how you call psychology,
Okay.
and that was the plan until I have the opportunity to work with the Pan American Games.
Mm-hmm.
I was hired like a edecán, somebody to help people. But Mariano Artao, which was in front of the games, teach me a lesson. At that time, he was he passed already. He told me that he believed in the youth, and because of that, he gave me a position as director of the press center of the swimming pool, the second most important press center during the games.
Wow.
At 17, 18, 17, I just graduated. At that time, I was just graduating from high school. I have like 40 employees. I was managing NBC, CBS, ABC, Pulitzer Win, Pulitzer Win periodista, and that opened my mind. That opened a new world for me.
Right.
And that's where I decided to start in communications and marketing.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. I mean, you were thrust into leadership at a very early age, but he must have seen something in you. You must not have been the average kid. You must have been already active in a lot of extracurricular activities, I imagine.
Yes, and the part that is I think that the most important part of the story is that I've been doing the same all my career.
Mm-hmm.
I've been giving opportunities to young people,
Mm-hmm.
and coaching them and being mentor. Mm-hmm. And up to date, I have ex-employees in big positions, in big companies, in advertising, in corporations. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because sometimes I call them and they say, "Hey, jefe, how you doing?" Okay, but it's important to give back and to help the new generation to grow.
Absolutely. Be who you wish was there for you, because that gentleman gave you that opportunity. And I think Pan American Games, you probably from being from Puerto Rico, a small island, probably opened up your mind and your vision to how big the world really is.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Why did you go from Florida to Massachusetts? Usually people move from Massachusetts to Florida.
I'm not like every people. Well, the reality was that when I was here I'm back in Tampa again. So when I was here initially, I opened a sales promotion company. And at that time, when I leave the radio station and start working, putting together my business again, my wife is a psychotherapist as a professional. Mm-hmm. At that time, that's when September 11 happened.
Right.
So I lost like $2 million in 2 weeks in contracts. Wow. At that time.
Wow.
And my wife says that one day she got home and the house was super clean. It was like bright, shining. And she said, like, you need to get a job, go anywhere you want to go. And I put the resume out there, and then I got the job in Boston. And she comes from Boston, from that area, because she lived there. She raised her kids there like for 20 years, so she knew the area. So I had an offer from California, and she said, I will never go to California. She lived in there; it's too expensive. So we moved to Boston.
Right. Well, you've got some very powerful brands on your resume, and one of the things that's always impressed me about you. And tell me, how did you connect with Satchi and Sachi? Did they have an office in Puerto Rico, or they did? Okay, because that's a very well-known advertising agency, legendary.
Yes. Yes. I at that time I had my own agency, so they brought me in to help them develop the retail division, which was an experience because at that time retail is not like now. It's a little bit. It's not glamorous, but it's better than in my times. And it was a constantly fight with creative directors and artists because they don't want to be dealing with habichuela and rice. so that's what that's where that's what I want to that's why they contract me to help them develop that. And that's been my specialization with furniture stores, supermarkets, airlines.
So B2C, primarily.
Yeah.
And you gave me the visual of you going door to door selling radio. Was that local radio? Were you selling, going door to door, really going door to door to businesses? I imagine at that point that might have been more B2B.
It was interesting because yes, it was business to business, and it was with the Stereo Tempo y Salsa 63 in Puerto Rico. And my ex boss called me once, and he said that my record of first month of sales was still, there. I sold $65,000 in the first month.
Wow!
And they were like, because what happened was that they had a festival. They had a festival, so I brought a juice. It was a parcha juice that they were launching. And I met the guy like knocking doors. I said, do you want to be at a festival? And he said, yes. Can I sell my product? Of course.
You became one of the sponsors of the festival, I imagine.
And that was like 40 grand there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, man. So you've got to be a great salesman. Where do you credit that talent from? Is that something you learned on your own, or did you have a mentor?
Well, it's something, I think it's always in my blood. As a matter of fact, my mom and my dad like, my dad was a salesman, and my mom was an educator, but also she became an entrepreneur, and she opened a nonprofit, and then she had a business of helping students and stuff like that. So I think I was in some way I was introduced to sales and understanding better how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, another thing I noticed about you is that you're kind of a serial entrepreneur. You've started a lot of different companies over the years. Some of them are partnerships. When I met you, when you were with Bauza and Associates, I think you were with Camelo, and I think we met through the GNMSDC up here, the Great New England Minority Supplier Development Council.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges for our entrepreneur listeners? Like, how do you find a good partner? Because when you launch a new business, what do you look for, or what have been some of the lessons you've learned over the years?
Well, to launch a new business, you have to be very patient, and you have to. The problem we have as Latinos is that we are underbanked. So money is always an issue for us to open a business. The fact that you have a good idea and you have the drive to do it, it helps a lot. You have to be savvy in terms of cost, what not getting to, what's going to give you a profit, what's not going to give you a profit, and work on those areas that you understand you need help or you're lacking help. That's why there's a lot of institutions like the one you mentioned and chambers of commerce and people like that have programs that can help the entrepreneur Latino or multicultural to be honest, to open and develop their new business. In terms of the partnership, I will say that partnership is like a marriage. When you get married, you have somebody else in your life, and you have to be transparent, and you need to be open about how you feel or what you don't want to do or where you want to go, but talk about it. Don't sneak in the back. Don't try to don't try to pull out stunts through employees or trying to in a way not giving you the reality or not trying to be a sincere partner. Partnerships are very difficult and are things that you need to be prepared. And usually my recommendation is, if you're going to have a partner, bring a partner that brings something to the equation, something that you don't have or you lack. Because if you have everything, why you need a partner? Right. Unless it's a partner with the money. But if not, just do it yourself and bring the person that you need in the future whenever you need it. If you see you lack something in that business, that you need to have that person close to you.
Did you ever have a partner that you felt wasn't 50-50, where you put more effort in, or you worked harder at the business, and then you found yourself having to split everything 50-50, or did you like what are some of your challenges or experiences with partnerships?
Yes, that's exactly the point. Yes, I had bad partners, and and that was one of the problems, that you bring your A game, and you, because I've always been a producer, a hunter. So I know I'm gonna bring the bread to the house, but I need somebody that can help me manage that. So if I bring the bread and then I have to manage everything else, so why are you here? Why I need you? So it's bad to have a bad relationship with your partner, because it opens the door to friction in the office, to things that are not supposed to be happening. To clients also. Clients are not stupid. They know. They can pinpoint what's going on. And also that brings more problems to you, because then if the clients have an idea or something that they're thinking is happening, then you have a big problem with that, because you have to maintain that client.
So when the other thing that fascinates me is that you haven't retired yet, so you're still in the game. So most recently we had a meeting with your partners in Puerto Rico, the new agency. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to kind of not hang up the gloves just yet.
Well, this is Javi Tirados and Ricky Soler's fault. I'm back here.
They pulled you in, okay?
Yeah, it's like they say, how much golf you can play, in a week. I like the the chemistry that we have together, the knowledge that we bring as a team is stupid, crazy.
Yeah.
The challenges, I love challenges. I have done this before, and I know how to make it work, and I know how to put it to work. And they have a great base in Puerto Rico with their agency and with the clients that they're serving in Puerto Rico. And also to be honest with you, I was really, really upset at the way the market is still portrayed 20 years later, trying to justify why you should spend money in the multicultural market or the Hispanic market. You know what? It's 20 years, 25 years, and we still trying. Oh, because we are the fastest growing population. Oh, because we have 1.7 trillion money to spend. Oh, because it's time to grow up, people. Right. It's time to start thinking like a business owner, understanding that if you don't talk to this market, you're done.
Right.
Your brand is not going to go anywhere. Your sales are going to go down, and your competition probably start doing it. So it was a mix. As you can notice, I was a little bit upset.
Hey, rightfully so. I've read all those statistics too, how, we buy more tortilla chips than bread and all this other stuff. These statistics have been around for 20 years. Absolutely.
And growing. No, it's not a fade. It's like they're still going up.
Right.
Is that so why you're not making a note on this and have somebody look at this market and start working on it?
Right. Well, what are the advantages of having an agency that is focused on the Hispanic market? Do you feel like, because the opposite of that is that either you're an agency for everybody or you're an agency for a specific market. So tell me in your words, the advantage of being specialized in this market.
Okay. How much time you have?
Yeah, no, we can. This is probably the most important question. So let's hear it.
The reality is, like I said before, this market is growing, and as a matter of fact, the market is becoming the general market. The market, which is right now under the label of minority, which I don't really understand we're a minority because we are, we're getting there, is the future of the marketing and advertising. And it doesn't matter the language. We're not talking about language, because if you have an advertising agency in the general market and you're buying only English media, your creative is done to get to the general market media. It's not a creative that speak culturally relevant to our targets. It's not a creative, probably, that don't understand our triggers. What triggers me to buy a car? It's not the same thing that triggers John Smith. So as we progress, the fact that you have an agency that understands the market gives you an advance against your competition to start developing what it will be the general market in the future, and not in the long-term future.
Right. I see what you're saying. If you were to look at the Hispanic market and the quote-unquote general market as two circles, eventually these circles are merging, is what you're saying.
And they are merging. Right now, Generation Z and millennials are the majority. It's a big chunk of Latinos there. It's a big chunk. So if you're talking about young, because we are being younger, a younger market forever, because we are, You can see me. Yeah, I look younger. No, because the, the populations are younger. So I need to reach a younger market. Millennials, Generation Z, Latino, African American. They're there. They're there. You need to talk to them. It is not the same way you talk into the millennials in the general market. Trust me.
Yeah. Let's talk about this past year, 2020, that a lot of people want to forget. You guys decided to launch an agency during this time. What impact did COVID have? Did it have any impact? Because I know some of you guys are working remotely, so you were already kind of set up for virtual. But what kind of market impact did it have on you?
The reality is that the COVID has been very difficult issue, problem to deal with it. For example, as an advertising agency, and you know this, creative nurture from creative.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be together. They need to see their faces.
Right.
They need to brainstorming in a way that's more organic, to say the word.
Mm-hmm.
In client services, is the same, but with the difference now that clients they got used to the Zoom meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's not gonna be like, yeah, I'm going to your office, because I had an office for 20 years. I think that one client came to my office. Probably the same thing with you. So usually the agency goes to the client's office, and in these days, nobody can, really go to anywhere. So we decided to open the agency right now because we see the potential in terms of the opportunity that's being closed for almost a year. As a matter of fact, a lot of agencies went under during this time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, is sad I'm sad about that, but at the same time, it's bringing us an opportunity to start bringing new clients and new business to our site, and I believe that's part of the equation. We prepared ourselves to be ready when the moment was right, in our opinion, to launch the agency, and that's what I did. We did. We know we have to deal with some issues inside the pandemic, but at the same time, we know that as we go and open the markets, there's going to be more and more opportunities out there for us.
Mm-hmm. And tell me a little bit about the name, CIENTOCHENTA and Agency 180.
CIENTOCHENTA. Bueno, that's really when you need to do something that, I always say that in the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Mm-hmm.
So and that happens a lot in the market, in the agencies and in the marketing. We bring a different perspective into the equation. We analyze what are you doing and develop a strategy, but very strong in creative. One of the things that I understand is a plus for us is the creative, force we have with the team in Puerto Rico, Javi and Ricky. And that thing is gonna be, it's we analyze, we see what you're doing, and trust me, we're gonna bring you on 180 change to your mentality, to the way of seeing things, the way of trying to market, the way of buying your media. No, there's a lot of ways of check the tree and get better results. So I think that's our strong side, is that bringing that different perspective to the equation. Sometimes you are so involved in your work as a marketing manager or as an owner that you don't really sit down and think about how you're going to progress or how your business is going to be better, and what changes do you have to do in your communication in order to be better and bring more traffic or sales to your company. So that's why we're here.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I love it. And I love how you have a name for Spanish and English. And most people say, well, we need to do a 360. But if you do a 360, you're going to be right back where you started. So tell me an agency success story, because you've got a long career, illustrious career. Give us a success story that you think paints a picture of an ideal client for your agency now, like somebody you've helped or something that you've grown or something that you've made an impact on a client's business.
Well, remember that now I have experience, but I have two guys there that have a.
Yeah, no, it could be one of theirs too, because
Exactly. So
yeah.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk about the.
Absolutely.
They work with Ricky worked with the launch of MAM dulce de leche.
Okay.
He worked directly with the client developing this new product for Latin America, this new Latin American flavor for Hispanic market. It was a breakthrough campaign that for the first time in history, a brand like MAM's was talking directly to Hispanics with this new flavor. And that's one of the experience. The other one,
that's huge. That is huge. So, because M&Ms have now they're selling, peanut butter. They have, the traditional chocolate. They have hazelnut. So you're saying, guys on your team, Ricky, they worked on launching a dulce de leche flavored M&Ms. That's big.
It's in our, I think it's in our website.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that's the reel, the TV spot that they did, and that's a good example of being open mind and understand where or how to grow in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Don't keep doing the same thing.
Right.
Open to MAM is a huge company.
Yeah.
They're not like a mom and pop. Right. So they have people. They had people inside the company saying, okay, we need to start establishing contact with this market, but we are not going to do it with our same products. Like you were saying, they are developing and creating products that serve, and our taste is different from other tastes. Our food is really good.
Flavorful. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm a testament of that. So it's important that they have the maturity. I will say maturity. Some people that they don't understand and they immature about what the market offers, and they don't understand where the opportunities are. And that's why we're here, because like I said before, we can help you and open your eyes to see, okay, this is where we're going, and this is the market, and this is how you're going to talk to this market.
Mm-hmm. So what is the, if you had a crystal ball, you could see the future. What do you think the future looks like for Agency 180?
Okay, the future. Let me see. Let me talk to the spirits to see what they say.
Yeah, I just came back from Sedona. I should have asked them over there.
Exactly. Well, I think that we are gonna have a bright future.
Mm-hmm.
I think the company is positioned in a way that will be able. We can talk with people in high levels because we have the expertise, and we have the knowledge to be strategic in that sense. So in my opinion, the future is bright, and we're going to be growing, and we're going to be growing big, because we are helping people, and we're showing people the work that we have done, the experience that we have, and what the market is going to represent for them. We are part, I will say like 90% of my work is education. And it's been always education on these markets. And I think that CIENTOCHENTA is going to follow that path. We are already talking with some media outlets, and we're developing some talks about the Hispanic market to bring it to their clients. So they understand better what CIENTOCHENTA can do for them. And you know, sometimes there are clients that they want to do it, but they don't know how to do it.
Right.
So we have a program that helps those clients organize themselves internally, externally, digital, to be ready to serve the market. Right. And we develop a blueprint for those clients from the front door to the back door. And that's another thing that CIENTOCHENTA brings that not too many agencies can offer, in terms of, you know, helping you understand the market, and at the same time, okay, let's evaluate your website, let's evaluate your point of touch, let's evaluate your production, let's evaluate your sales, let's evaluate operation, how we can help you be more effective getting to this market. And that's what I say, that the future looks bright and big for us, because we're not there like, oh, we're gonna make you a campaign that is gonna be very good for you. No, we're gonna give you 180 new way of looking at things and developing your brand in a way that it's relevant and it helps you grow and your market in the market.
I love it. And I'm looking forward to an opportunity to come along, and I know it will, where we can work together, our agencies working together. And I love that. Continue to position yourselves as subject matter experts by offering this kind of education on how to reach the Hispanic market. I think that's a great strategy. So what is the best way for those clients out there, those brands that are interested in reaching the Hispanic market? What would you say is the best way for them to contact you? If you want to share your web address or phone number, you can do so.
Yes, the website address is CIENTOCHENTA in CIENTOCHENTA in Word, agency.com. So it's CIENTO, CIENTOCHENTA, agency.com. My phone number is 813-501-9710. And if you want to talk with Javi, the CEO, I can give you this information too.
Sure.
Hold on. Javi's phone number is Javi Tirado, CEO, 787-565-8349. So anyway, you wanna send me an email, hbauza@180agency.com. Anyway you want to communicate, you can send, Paloma Mensajera.
Awesome. So you guys have offices right now in San Juan and in Tampa.
In Ybor City, Tampa.
All right.
Yeah.
Ybor City. Yeah, I almost went there. if you want to ride horses, I have a fraternity brother that has his own ranch in Plant City, which is not too far from you.
No.
Wow. Plant City, Florida. His name is Gus Trent. So if you look up Gus Trent Horse Ranch.com, look him up, tell him I sent you. He's your neighbor. He's a fraternity brother. So I love that area. Clearwater. Next time I go, I want to check out Ybor City. But excellent. Thank you for being on the show with us. And I'm going to give you a surprise question. What is your favorite Puerto Rican food?
Wow, that's a good one. You know what? I love chillo, the red snapper.
Yes, chillo frito.
Chillo frito. That with a Roman posteado. Oh my goodness! A Roman posteado is rice with the red beans together.
Oh yeah,
that's a Roman posteado. So, and a flan as a dessert.
Oh yeah, I consider myself a judge of flan. So anybody makes a flan and they want to know if it's good, that's an excuse for me to eat some. So I've never had a bad flan either. So
okay, when you come back, I'm gonna ask my wife to make you a flan. She
excellent,
healing flan.
It sounds good. And for the listeners out there, the chillo frito is a red snapper. If you go to Puerto Rico, you order it, the fish will be hanging off the plate. It's an entirely deep fried fish, red snapper. It's delicious. And you can get it with criollo sauce, which is like a red sauce with onions on it, or you can get it dry, but it is delicious. But Hector Bauza, thank you for being on our show. Gracias. And we love to have you back, and I look forward to working with you. So thank you for being on our show.
Abrazo. Gracias por todo.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of Mission Control. Until next time, this is Ramon Peralta with Peralta Design, and we launch brands.
Thank you for taking this journey with us. To learn more about Peralta Design and our work, go to www.peraltadesign.com and subscribe to keep up with the crew.